much differently than our normal employees, or if it's just that it's a richer benefit. But, I mean, we can just walk through there, I guess. But the first section on the shift employee pay, so these are your this time about your part-timers?
No.
Or not? This is
No,
full-timers?
This is the full-time, so
overtime.
we're working on a 14-day cycle, and under the FLSA, 106 hours triggers the overtime impact. There are components within FLSA that refer to an average pay type plan. That's what we put in here because it provides an even paycheck to the fireman every pay period.
Okay.
The total hours worked in the course of a year for a firefighter compared to a 40-hour employee, they work about 840 hours a year more. So that's where the drastic difference comes in.
And so then is that 840 paid at time and a half?
No,
or not?
Not necessarily, no, sir.
Okay.
What you're seeing here with the 112 hours of regular time, 6 hours of half time, that's the equivalent of 106 hours of regular time and 6 hours of overtime each pay period.
Okay.
It balances out.
Okay. So this provision is standard among fire department shift?
That's correct.
24
So if you're a 40-hour employee and you make $20 an hour and you work 2,080 hours a year, well, their $20 an hour salary is divided by 2,912 hours. So they're paid at a lower hourly rate because they're working so many more hours.
Right. But that's all specified.
Yeah, it's all broken in. I don't like being a fairly well-versed person at this pay stuff, but I've been dealing with it for a long time.
So I was curious about that, but moving on to the other, like on the holidays, is that a similar, can you explain that a little bit? Is it earned at a similar rate that the city employees or not?
So, whereas firefighters are working 24-hour periods, only two of them together, historically what happens is holidays are given at 12 hours per city holiday versus 8 hours because of it takes two of those to equate to a day off, essentially, for a firefighter. So they're accrued at 12 hours. When I first got in the business, firefighters accrued their holidays 24 hours for every holiday, which gave you a lot more time off. But over the years, that's transitioned pretty much across the board in the area to 12 hours per holiday. So that's time.
24 though, that's just half a shift?
Exactly. So if there's 11 city holidays, they would, instead of paying holiday pay, which is just a greater impact to the budget, we'll give them that as basically floating holidays they take off when they can schedule it into their schedule. And then the sick leave and vacation accruals are comparable to a 40-hour employee just on that 24-hour schedule. It takes 4 hours
that's where
to be off.
It looks a lot different.
Right. If you do the math on 24-hour shifts, it ends up working out to almost identical, same number of days.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. I didn't want to unnecessarily create a differential between our normal employees and our
100%.
Right.
If you look on section 5.02 under vacation leave where there's the small table there, so your 0 to 60 month 40-hour employee gets 2 weeks of vacation, 120 hours or 5 shifts of vacation in the fire department equates to essentially 2 days off. With their days off, their regular days off, I think it ends up being 1 extra day, but that's because of their days off, not their days away from work. And then so on and so forth down the line, so that it balances.
Well, I knew it may appear to be differently than it actually is, so you're telling me that is
Correct.
Correct.
And anything down the road, if anything changes with FLSA or any of that, I'll work through the city manager and come back to you with that as well. Any other questions?
Does any of this go for Marvin? He works 24-hour shifts.
I'm afraid that the FLSA is very specific that you have to be a firefighter to get that stuff.
It puts out fires.
Big one, we go up.
He's good at that.
Indeed he is.
Make a motion to approve resolution 983.
So,
We have a motion second to approve resolution 983-2019. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. While you're standing there, I'm gonna go up to item number 20, discussion interaction with fire department mutual aid agreement, which you already read.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure at this point, council, how much in depth you want me to go into this. Over the course of the last week and a half, I'm confident that everyone in the room is aware of the house fire that occurred in Sansom Park Saturday previous, and the significant injuries and the loss of life to some of their residents. In light of the circumstances that were going on in Sansom Park with their fire department staffing and only having one person on duty at the time of the fire, several of the neighboring communities that have been responding with Sansom Park for many years have since given them written notice that they're withdrawing their mutual aid to Sansom Park until such time as they're able to correct their staffing shortage. This gives me great concern because with those decisions being made already, whatever Sansom Park has on duty and the 3 personnel we have on duty is all that's currently assigned if there were a fire in Sansom Park today. My big concern with that is if they have 1, 2, or 3 guys on duty and we have our 3, we are responding to a house fire situation with 4 to 6 firefighters in a situation where 15 to 20 are necessary. That being said, we are putting our young men and women in a position to make decisions in critical life safety situations that could be very detrimental to themselves and their crews. My first obligation is to the citizens of River Oaks and to my employees that they go home safely at the end of every shift. And while it is a very conflicted feeling for me as a public safety professional, I believe it is in our best interest as a community for the safety of our employees that we follow suit with these other communities in providing written notice to Sansom Park that we'll be suspending our mutual aid to fire-related emergencies until such time as they are able to correct their staffing to provide adequate personnel for fire scenes. I am also recommending that we continue to provide assistance for things like car accidents, medical emergencies, things of those nature, where staffing is not as impactful to the outcome of the situation.
Then what is the notice that you're recommending?
According to our aid agreement that's been in place for many, many years, we have to give them 60 days written notice.
And I would hope in that amount of time that if they need to review their situation and I would hope that wouldn't happen. I would hope that they would look at their situation and come up with a staffing solution that would still work for us as a partner and anybody else, but I think what you brought us is it's really
that will be in the resolve the issues and then I think you got it.
Just wanted to ask,
Yes, sir.
it's my understanding now, at October 1st, they're going to have a full staff, paid staff. Is that not correct?
I'm aware that they were going to have 1 person per day full-time, 3 total new full-time employees. That was what was originally proposed in their budget. I haven't had any communication from the city.
I know I called up there today and asked them, and that's what they told me they was going to.
That they have not told us anything or provided any kind of written information saying that's what they're doing.
Anybody called up and asked them?
I spoke to their fire chief last week and I told him to keep me posted on what was going on. I didn't want them to be blindsided. I wanted to make them aware that we were bringing this to the council tonight for consideration.
And the 60-day notice, it's gonna have in there.
How many was gonna be on each shift?
But in the 60 days, it'll also have in that communication that if they can show us they have adjusted that problem, then the mutual aid will continue.